I just brought a customer in today, and he's having some issues with his 2004 Nissan Frontier 3.3 liter with cooling system leaks and overheating. So I want to show you how I do this process. So I asked the customer if he wanted to be on camera, and he said no. So we had a quite lengthy discussion about the age of the truck and the miles that are on it. It doesn't have too many miles on it. It's got about 128,000 miles on it. And he suspected a radiator leak, and verifying exactly what the customer's problem was or their concerns is definitely one of the most important things that you need to establish and that you need to make sure that you do before you get into giving estimates. And then I started hunting around and saw that there was a little bit of evidence of some staining right there. There's a little bit of a stain of coolant, which is a telltale sign that the radiator is leaking. So the first step that you want to do is you want to establish with the customer a little bit of trust. And the reason why you want to establish a little bit of trust in the very beginning with the customer is because you want them to know that the work you're going to do and that the things you're saying are all going to be things that they can feel like they understand what you're saying, and that they feel that they can trust you because you're explaining things and you're not just rushing through the whole process with them, and that you have their best interest as far as the vehicle goes in mind while doing your inspection or while doing your repairs. So I just kind of took them through the hoses and the radiator and the thermostat and the water pump, and I just kind of pointed out to him that these hoses are original from 2004. You can tell by the white paint markings on them that they're the ones from 2004 that were from the factory. And I just went through and just told him, I showed him where the water pump is down there and explained to him that there could be some issues that we need to address with the cooling system, and that it's just so important to have a good working cooling system. So I have how I started filling out this invoice with this customer, and this is for anybody who's getting into either mobile auto repair or they want to know how to write up invoices working for themselves. And this is exactly what I did. And this is exactly what you should do. So I just get these universal invoices, these GT3870 auto repair orders. I get them from Walmart, and it comes in a pack of 50 for about $7 to $8. And so you just put at the very top left, you see my business name, and then I've blocked out the customer's name and my address. And then I just put in the date, and then I always write this invoice 1 because there might be an invoice 2, and I want to have both these invoices referenced to go together. In case there's ever an issue, you want to have a paper trail for the repairs that you do. So for court purposes, or for if you get, whoever you're licensed through in the state of California, it's the Bureau of Automotive Repair, they want to see a paper trail and they want to know things have been done right and that you're documenting things. So this is the way that I do it. And so I just write up the vehicle information, invoice 1, I put the vehicle, the engine, the license plate number, and the mileage. And then I put down the estimate on the top middle right, and then I write down the amount for the estimate, and then I just get a signature, and then I write down at the very top, I don't do any refunds. I don't want there to be any confusions. I won't do refunds after I do an inspection or do a repair. And then I put my job notes about the customer towing vehicle to my garage due to coolant leaks. Also mentioned that approximately 1 year ago, the engine overheated, but nothing was repaired on it. Customer's been driving the vehicle without any problems for the last year. And then customer dropping off truck and will pay at time repairs are complete. Now I will make other notes, and I will be doing an engine block test before I do any repairs. And that's just one thing that you want to do to cover your ass, is you want to do an inspection for possible blown head gasket, because if you go and do all this work, then you're kind of negligent because you didn't do your due diligence to discover if it did or didn't have a blown head gasket. And then if you do a $1,000 repair or whatever the case is, then the customer is going to be extremely mad, and this could go to court. So that is why you need to do these things. Do anything you can to check for any evidence at all of a blown head gasket. If you find anything, you got to let the customer know. And then once the customer is aware of it, let them make the decision if they want to move forward or not. And you tell them, listen, I found a little bit of evidence of a blown head gasket, blah, blah, blah. Here's what's going on. Here's the dangers. This is how serious I think it is. And then let them make the decision. You just giving them the information, but you got to do your due diligence. So once you're doing your inspection and then also looking for evidence of a blown head gasket, this is just one major step in trying to see if maybe there was a possible damage done to the head gasket due to the customer overheating their vehicle. So you take the oil fill cap off and look inside, and you're going to look for anything that looks foamy or frothy, kind of like chocolate milk. And then you pull the engine oil dipstick out and you look at it, smell it. You could even go a step further and I don't know, maybe drain the oil out and look for water in there. But that would be a bit extreme. But I think just doing these basic visual things, you can see if there's a blown head gasket. You start the engine up and rev it a little bit and see if there's any white exhaust. I've already done all these things. I got my cooling system pressure tester set to about 14 psi, and then I started looking around for leaks. And what I discovered was that it's coming out wet right there, which is initially where I thought it was leaking, and then it also is leaking from the bottom as well. And I would imagine once it gets hotter, the leak is going to get even bigger because the metal in the radiator will expand, and that will help push the coolant out faster, and it will be under pressure. And one of the most important steps to this process of bringing in a new customer is that after you talk to the customer and the customer leaves or whatever, if they wait or whatever, you need to verify their complaint, their concerns, whatever is going on. Get as much information from them as you can. Who, what, why, when, and where. Ask them as many questions. Try to get to the bottom of what happened and get all the bits and details out of them, because that will help you diagnose the car. It will help you when you have those different things that the customer says in your mind throughout the inspection, and that'll help you know what your direction is in this particular inspection diagnostic process. And another reason why you want to establish trust with the customer is because when you give them an estimate, they're going to feel comfortable with proceeding and authorizing that repair. And that what that does is that gives you some job security. So building a rapport or just building up trust right away, immediately, initially when you meet the customer as a brand new customer, bringing in their vehicle just really makes the whole repair process for you and the customer, and in some cases, very profitable. Another thing that I wanted to point out that I think is really important when you have a brand new customer is that when you establish trust, you also establish the worth of their vehicle. So as you can see here, the vehicle is in really clean shape, and then so this is a really good candidate for doing that. And you just, one thing that I always tell the customer is that when they've got low miles, I always tell them that, man, you could really drive this car like another 100,000 miles and get another 10 years of driving out of this thing. This thing's in beautiful condition. And when it actually is in beautiful condition, then they don't think you're just full of, SHITs. This really is, it's kind of a little bit of a white lie in a way, or it's kind of a little bit cunning. But in auto repair, you kind of have to be that way sometimes. Not an outright lie, not, like criminal deception or anything. You're not trying to be fraudulent with the customer. You're just trying to establish some truth and some understanding with the customer about that they don't want to go make another $500 a month car payment. And this truck, it's easier when the vehicle is in clean condition, because then they know right off that you're not just giving them a bunch of BS and a bunch of just, salesman, talk. So what I always say is that it's got 128,000 miles on it. You can easily get another 150,000 miles out of it. It's a clean truck. The body is clean. Everything's good. I see very little body damage. And then just keep focusing on the good. So I wanted to ask if there's anybody who's interested in these types of videos who watch my videos, please leave a comment below and let me know if this is something that you're interested in, because this is kind of a new thing that I thought about, more or less an epiphany of what I should be doing with my videos to sort of take it the next notch up, or, you know, just do something a little bit different that might give people a bit of insight, a bit of help, and a bit more extra knowledge to understand dealings with customers. So please let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, and share. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.